Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today's video is about this guy. This is Transformers Generation 1 Shockwave. Now, earlier this week, if you're subscribed to the channel, you see that I went to a local toy show and this guy was one of my hauls. He was only $10 in a box of various Transformers, and I thought, man, this guy is actually in pretty good condition considering all things. Now, he was missing his shroud, the barrel shroud for the gun mode, and the rubber hose was cracked, and the electronics did not work. But at $10, and I thought it was a good deal because all the joints still work. He was able to transform and everything, and I thought, if I'm lucky, I can bring it back home, open it up, and see if I can fix up Shockwave and bring him back to his former glory. So I did bring him back. I did fix him up. I actually took footage of it, but unfortunately some of it got corrupted and was not exactly usable. So I'll try to put some clips from it, but I'm just really gonna have to share it over here. But I was able to clean him up and restore him. So a couple of issues that he had. One was the rubber hose was all cracked, and that was the most obvious issue that he had. There was multiple cracks and breaks in that rubber hose, and two, the electronics didn't work. So I decided to tackle the electronics first because I would need to do that anyway if I'm going to tackle the rubber hose. So I did open it up, and I found that there was a lot of battery corrosion. Let's see if I can open this. It's a little tight, and I'll tell you why it's tight. The main reason why the battery door is a little tight is because I had to replace the 9-volt connector. Let me see. I think I gotta move the hose out of the way a bit. Let's do that. Okay, there you go. And that will make it a bit easier. Okay, so here it is. As you can see, I put a brand new battery here. The connector I have is a little bit thicker than the original one, but I opened it up, cleaned out all the corrosion that was inside, and then replaced the battery connector, snipped it out, and then put in a new one, soldered that on, and then I tested the electronics once the battery connector was there, and they did work. So here's the cool part. See? And then the switch. So the awesome thing is that the soundboard was still fully functional, which was really cool, and it really made my day because I'm like, okay, cool. All I have to do is just replace the battery connector, cleans things up a bit, and that's what I did. Now the cablings are very old. I actually, in hindsight, next time I'm in there, I really should, yeah, so it's kind of tight. I might have to replace it with the original battery connector, but for now we'll use this. Well, actually, I think it's kind of tight because of the hose thing, and I'll get to the hose in a bit. Let me get this thing up, and then you can kind of see what I did. There we go. Alright, now it's back in. Push the hose. Now, so first thing, tackled the electronics, got the electronics working. Really happy about that, because that to me was the biggest thing. Cleaned up all the battery corrosion, and after I got that, next thing to tackle was the hose. And I thought about a couple of things I thought about doing with the hose. One was re-gluing the hose and putting some shrink wrap over it, and it didn't work out. So I, kind of went back to the drawing board, and I happened to be at the pet store, and I saw this. So I really should have took a picture of the packaging, but here we have. This is Imaginarium airline tubing, and I'll put links in the description below. And this Imaginarium coupler connector, and that's pretty much what this tube is. In fact, what's so cool about this, and I'll see if I can open this up, is if you look, it's such a snug fit. So here it is. This is the coupler connector. I cut it because it's really long, but after I cut it, I put it in and it fits snugly, very snugly, as if it was made for it on both ends. And then I added the tube. I cut the tube and put it in just like a regular tube. If you do aquariums, you kind of know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was such a perfect fit. I think it looks great. I think it's a great alternative if you can't find a replacement Shockwave hose. And you know, just the hose, they're kind of expensive, and they're old, so they'll also go brittle in time. This alternative to me is better because it's easily replaceable with items we can get locally right here and now. The only thing I would have done differently in hindsight, though, is I would have made this hose longer. So as you can see, this is actually not the proper way to transform him, because technically it's supposed to be something like this, you know, with this outside showing, but it puts stress on the tube. So in hindsight, again, I should have made this longer, got longer cabling. I may go back and do that. So if you do this, you may want to extend the tube so that there's not so much stress on it in that mode. But I made mine's mistakenly. I made mine's to be the exact same size as the G1 Shockwave. I measured it that way, but I should have made it longer. But to me, it's a perfect alternative. And if you're looking for a way to repair your G1 Shockwave hose, you may want to look into getting this. It's not that expensive. In fact, you know, this whole restoration, I just missing the Toy Hacks labels, and again, I may get it or not. I do have a bunch of extra ones that they give you, but granted, it's not the exact same design, but it is a Decepticon symbol. But other than that, I mean, this whole Shockwave, $10 for the body, $12 on eBay for the barrel shroud, and I would say about $5 or so on this. I have a whole bunch left over, but about $5 in tubing and the connectors, and you're talking about less than $30 for a fully functional Shockwave. Now, while that's an awesome deal, having Shockwave back in my hands again is priceless. So I'm really glad I found this deal this past weekend, and I just gotta share something about Shockwave. Now, Shockwave, I had as a kid. Let me transform him while I'm talking about that. I remember, I believe it was for Christmas. My mom had some toys wrapped, and you know, my parents knew I liked Transformers, and I was asking my mom, you know, oh, what did she get me? And she said she wanted to give me a hint. You know, in reality, though, I thought she probably didn't even know what the name was. But she said, here's the hint. It's a purple. Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. She said, here's a hint. It's a lavender Transformer. And as a kid, I didn't know what lavender meant. And Shockwave is the reason why I know lavender, being purple. You know, being a guy, my crayon box is 8 colors, not the 64 colors one. So she told me she got me the lavender Transformer, and this was it. It was Shockwave. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.